one more second. Give me one more minute, please. There she comes. I see a little top knot there bopping around. All right. Let's see. It looks like there's already some questions here in the chat. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Tim, you can hand it over to me now.
There you go. Ciao.
Okay, happy Teichu. Love you. Thank you.
Happy Teichu.
Hi, everybody.
Happy Teichu too.
Yay, happy Teichu. I'm going to give you guys all the power, or as many of you as I can, to talk so you can ask me questions. I might have to run around for a minute chasing my daughter until Aaron comes back. And that will help me address one of the questions. I would promote you all the panelists, but this is going to take too long. But at least I can hear your voices. So if you have a question, you can also feel free to just unmute your microphone and ask me a question. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Nick, in case you guys haven't been following. I'm the director of the Mixed Nuts, which means I just do a bunch of tedious legwork to make the translation programs happen. And I love what I do for a living, and I feel really lucky to be part of this team. And yeah, I'm excited to be here doing a Q&A with all you guys. I'm going to take this out to the living room so I can keep an eye on my daughter. Ollie? Okay, she's in the bathroom going pee-pees, just so you guys all know. Are you okay, sweetheart? All right. Okay, call me if you need me, honey. I think I'm gonna have to answer the second question first because it's really relevant to what's going on right now in this very moment. Oh, Soak Tang's here. Hi, Soak Tang. Hi, Sophie Chow. Hi, all you guys. Okay, I can only take questions in English and Spanish. I do not understand much Chinese, but I'll unmute you guys in case you speak English. All right. So I see some questions from the Russian team. I'm not going to try to answer that first one right away. I'll do that if we have a lot of time. The second question that I have here in the chat, it said, can somebody tell me if anybody's out there listening?
I'm listening.
Oh, cool. That's nice. I'm glad to hear your voice.
Listening.
Okay.
And I can't wait to hear the answers to these questions.
Okay, cool.
I'm listening too, so there's a room of at least 3.
All right, nice. Okay, that's good. Okay, just checking. I'm making sure I didn't, come to the wrong meeting. You did a poo-poos? She did a poo-poos. That's really good, Bugs. Just in case you don't know what a poo-poo is. Just kidding. Okay, baby, I'll clean you off in just a minute. Okay, honey? You have your family, yoga studio, your dog, you play guitar, SCIM, DCI, translations, other projects. Do you have time to do personal practice? Could you please share your tips with us? I talked about this in the last few classes I did in SCIM. Okay, come here, honey. Come sit with daddy for just a few minutes. I know, baby. Come here. Okay. Okay, she's coming. So, first of all, we don't have the yoga studio anymore. We closed yesterday. It's very sad, but with the pandemic, we could not continue it. But it's still relevant to this question. because I have been dealing with that for a few years, several years, all of those things and many more. And hang on. Okay, I'm sorry. This is a good example of where I'm trying to practice patience being in a situation that feels impossible because I'm supposed to be doing a Q&A and my daughter's upset and I have her. And so I think that part of the tips is, do I have time to do personal practice? Yeah, I do, but it changed forms a lot. This is in a large way, it becomes my personal practice to keep my patient at the lowest level, just keep my patience in the form of, in the face of much difficulty and in the face of, all kinds of frustrating and difficult situations, exhaustion. So I get pushed really far and I'm spread really thin. And to try to maintain a level head in that kind of construct, it's very difficult. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, now I have Aaron's back with Amelie, so I can actually focus. I don't have enough time to play guitar yet, but I recently took a vacation, and a big part of the realization that I had on my vacation is that I just have to make time for the things that are important to me. So scheduling, this is a very, basic, fact, but scheduling is extremely important, and being really disciplined about adhering to a schedule is the only way to have any personal time, any time for meditation, any time for yoga and exercise, scheduling and discipline, and just really being stubborn with yourself about adhering to that schedule. But the main answer to this is to transform everything that's arising for me into a practice, and it's not easy. And I had a conversation with my teacher yesterday, I guess, and he said, because I was asking him all kinds of questions, if I'm doing this or if I'm here, and he's just like, look, as long as I'll paraphrase, but he said, as long as you are making it a practice, as long as you are focusing on, these beings as being special, and making this world into a paradise, then I'm not worried about you. And if you're not doing that, I am worried about you because it's death. And that was his words. So I think that the best way to answer this question is like, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you have time for meditation or not, try to keep your world a meditation. Try to keep your waking life off the cushion of meditation, in the sense of bringing your mind again and again back to this object of seeing your world as something special and something beyond normal, and treating people that way, especially to the best of your ability, and at least having a little bit of that in your heart. Obviously you can't do it all the time. I can't do it all the time, but just having a kernel of that in your mind and in your heart, I think that it's the way to turn the busy world into practice. And making time for meditation is also extremely important, if it's important to see emptiness directly. So discipline. And then somebody asked, how did I feel love for ancient text translations? How did I start translating? I love languages, and I happen to have kind of an ability to understand languages. So I think that it just kind of fell together. It was like I identified that was a place where there was a need within our Sangha, or just within the world. Tibetan culture is kind of, being absorbed into India. there's all these, hundreds of thousands of books of, really precious ideas and beautiful philosophy. And, if I want to do something important with my life, why not try to save those? And I happen to have an affinity for it. I just happen to have a talent for it, at least for language. So I'm not saying it's not hard. Translating Tibetan is extremely hard, especially for someone like me who doesn't really have the chance to live amongst people speaking that language. Yes, scriptural Tibetan, the Tibetan in the books is quite different from what they speak, but still, if I were in a situation where I had to learn to speak it, it would help a lot, just to become a more fluent translator. So I'm slow because I don't have a fluent knowledge of spoken Tibetan, which I think would help. But my reading is getting pretty good. So yeah, that's all. I think it's important. I happen to be good at it, and I like it, and now I'm in a situation where it's become a career. So I feel extremely fortunate. Does anybody? I'm reading these questions from the chat, and I did 2 so far. Does anybody want to ask a question? Who's here? If not, I'll keep going. But this could be fun.
I have a question, Nick.
Okay, who's that?
My name's Leah.
Hi, Leah. Okay.
Hi. It was super exciting to be, just to watch like the palpable energy in the last translation session.
Mhm.
Very, very exciting. Just to be clear, so in that teaching, it's teaching the Sharvakas to level up. Is that correct?
Did you say level up?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, showing them that their beliefs aren't accurate and helping them to come to other beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think that he's certainly comparing certain thoughts to their beliefs. So he's saying, if you think like that, you're like a Charvaka. So he's kind of like he's tearing apart their beliefs and showing that it's incorrect and that one should rather accept the logic proposed by the Buddhist system.
Okay, thank you.
So what's the question though?
That's the question. I'm just trying to understand the context.
Yeah, okay, I'll just expand on that a little bit for those of you who aren't as familiar. In a lot of these Buddhist texts, are written in a dialectic format, which means they're written as a argument between 2 people, even though it's one person writing it. And it's just it's the Tibetan pedagogy. It's the Tibetan system for teaching and for writing often. And it's actually quite hard for me to deal with personally. I don't know why I find it kind of tiresome sometimes, just admitting. But it's just a style. It's a style of teaching, and that's what's going on there. And so yeah, there's like invisible enemies, and then they identify them as being similar to X or Y school. And in this case, it's the Charvakas, who are particularly famous for really encouraging people to focus on this life, because we're not sure if you tried this. So it's all about focusing on this life. But yeah, that's what's going on. And you'll see, as that text progresses, it's very interesting. Like he's probably going to smash ideas from all different schools, including Buddhist schools, especially. Probably mostly going to be that, I'm guessing.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Well, I have a personal question. I know Buddhism is based on the 2 wings of compassion and wisdom, right? And we have both equally strong to fly into a state of enlightenment so we can help all beings. I frankly, between you and me,
And the other 50 or 60 people.
I have never understood how I got into this lineage of Buddhism, which is so scholastically oriented, because I don't see myself as that. I see myself extremely strong in the compassion side of the practice. And my conclusion, my conclusion was that maybe the logic presentations are like 2x4s hitting us over the head to get us out of our self-cherishing mode, get us out of our habituated self-cherishing so that we can learn how to take care of other people. And I kind of feel like, I feel strong in that, taking care of other people more than myself. But I still feel like I need to master the teachings and all the different schools and all the different presentations so that I can help other people benefit from the incredible presentations I've benefited from. It's incredible. I may not be able to keep up with it or, be a good student, but I get it. It's reprogrammed me. I'm a different person. And so now I'm at the point where I feel like I need to get a better mastery of the logic side as part of my compassion wing that's already performing really, really well. So there's that part of me thinking, I need to become a better student. The second part of that is to achieve total enlightenment. I think is, there's the Vajrayana way, but there's also going through all the steps on the Lam Rim. Is mastering all of this logic material an essential part of my enlightenment, or is it the seeds that I plant?
Can I try to respond now to some of what you're saying?
Go for it.
Okay. And I think I have the same response to both parts of what you're saying.
I'm worried.
No, you're not. Listen, the way that I kind of categorize what you're saying in my own mind, or the way that I think about that, is like, we're trying to do something really hard. If we're yogis, if we're on a spiritual path, we're trying to do something because, according to everything I've learned in Buddhism and in other traditions that accept the idea of enlightenment, we've been doing this, like living the way we are and thinking the way we are for a really, really long time. And it's really, it's so deeply ingrained in our brains and our psyche that it's and in our hearts, it's hard to get out of. It's hard to turn it around. And so it's a monumental task, a difficult task. And we have to use every tool available to us, everything. And different people have different predispositions and predilections, meaning like we're just naturally more, better at different things. And I think on some level it has to be well-rounded. So responding to the first thing you were saying, like if we happen to be stronger at one thing, of course it makes sense to sharpen your abilities on things, because being well-rounded is going to help you in the tougher circumstances in your own life, and also will make you more capable of helping others. So I think that that's right on. And I think, but I think all this logic and stuff is like, it's really sharpening one tool. I mean, a few, and they support each other, right? But the intellect, I guess is what I mean, is one tool that we have at our disposal. And as humans, it's a really prominent and powerful tool that we have at our disposal, is intellect. And so if we can sharpen our intellect and our intellectual abilities to their fullest capacity, then that's going to be a really helpful weapon in our fight against negativity. So, powerful logic is only going to help. And it's one of the most powerful things we have at our disposal is our super powerful human minds. So why not, exploit that and turn it into a tool for enlightenment? But our heart is just as important, and everything else, our physical body too, like using that toward work, using it as a tool to work toward our enlightenment as well. What we eat, our sleep, everything, Eh, so intellect is part of it, and maybe it's one of the more powerful ones, and so it's good to spend a lot of time sharpening the mind. And I think another part of that is it's easy to create bad seeds, with your mind. So if you have your mind more fine-tuned, maybe you have a better opportunity to catch yourself and stop yourself. But I also believe that just quieting the mind, meditation and mindfulness can help, just as much or more than just sharpening your reasoning. So I think people should follow their hearts in terms of what's going to be the thing, that you want to focus on in your path. And I recommend, and this isn't just for you, Kat, because I know you've done this a lot already, but study the lives of the Buddhas because it's very inspiring and beautiful. And they use their own strange powers, or their strange predispositions to get enlightened. And I think on some level we all do that. So, yeah, we're in a logical lineage and it's great. It's amazing. And we all need to do it. We all need to be here. That's why we're here, and follow it as long as it feels right for you. And if it, if doing all this logical stuff hurting you or something, or just, take a break or something. There's no like pressure to be the quickest debater or the smartest, whatever, logician or philosopher. It's all just different things to help you get to a point where you're like, I'm enlightened. Like, like this is awesome. So it's all just different stuff to help you get there, and don't worry too much about any of it. Is my advice to everybody. And about one thing you said, and I caught you, you said, I'm really good at putting others above myself in the first part of what you said. And that's, of course, that's a powerful, powerful practice according to Lojong, it is. But I like to give this warning to everybody, or this disclaimer, that self-care is extremely important. So I like to say that taking care of all beings equally, including me, it's just, the problem is that our minds are often so habituated to just thinking about me. I want this, I want that. I don't want this person to have that because I want everybody to see that I'm better. That is a problem. But taking care of yourself is essential equally, just like you take care of everyone else. Just, it's to love everyone else as you, as much as you love yourself. But for the most part, I've only seen problems when people tend to degrade themselves, or to put themselves, to not take care of themselves. I've seen it result in problems several times, and I don't recommend it. I think that it's, especially, most of us have some self-esteem issues, Americans. And so I know that we particularly suffer from this in this country, the rest of the world as much. But I want you can't practice the real path, the Lam Rim, or Tantra or anything like that without a really strong sense of self-esteem. And then you can smash your self-esteem. I mean, your pride, but you need to have a really, really solid, firm foundation of self-esteem. And I think caring for yourself, giving yourself empathy, taking the time that you need to be healthy and sane, and it's going to make you that much more a loving and passionate and helpful person, and a great teacher and example. Because doing the martyr thing hasn't, I don't see it work, in my opinion. And who am I? I don't know.
Thank you.
but thank you so much. And somebody said, thank you, Kat. Thank you. It's really awesome to have you here, and happy to you. Okay. Catherine said, oh no, question from Eric Liao. Is the disappearance of cause and the manifestation of effect interrelated? I didn't hear it clearly. Can you talk about it again? Okay, it's one of my favorite things to talk about. But it's complicated. So the idea is like, it's Nagarjuna, okay? This is really very higher middle way stuff. If you have a seed, okay, there's a, say, imagine there's a seed in my hand. What is that seed? Is it a cause or a result? Well, you can't really say it's a cause because the result didn't come yet, right? It didn't cause anything. I guess you could say it's a result of the flower or something that produced it, or the fruit that it came from. But and I'll get into that in a second. When that seed creates a sprout, then you have a sprout, right? I have a sprout in my hand, but I don't have the seed anymore. So can you see that? Can I say that seed is a cause? Is anybody there? What seed? Right? The seed is gone. The sprout is there. Okay. So I have a sprout and I can say the seed was a cause, but I can only say it was a cause. There is no seed anymore to say it's a cause, right? There's no more seed. So what's the definition of a cause? Definition of a cause is a thing that produces a result. What's the definition of a result? It's something that comes from a cause. Okay. But when the sprout has come, the seed is gone. So can we say that can we say that the seed is a cause? No, because by the time the result comes, the seed is gone. So there's never a seed that is a cause. You can only talk about it in retrospect, like a memory of a seed. Okay. Yeah, sure. That's an imaginary seed, but there never is an instant where there is a seed that is a cause. It's just a story in our mind, right? Same with the result. Result is a thing that comes from a cause. But once the result is there, once the sprout is there, the cause is gone. So is the sprout a result? No, I mean, there's no cause there for it to be coming from. So there's no such thing as cause and effect. That's the result. So, but if there is a such thing of cause and result, right? Of course, that's what that Kat was just talking about, the two sides of Buddhism, the compassion side and the wisdom side. The whole point of the wisdom side is cause and result. That's it. That's the wisdom side. So Nagarjuna said there's no cause and result. He's just saying there's no cause and result that exists the way that you think they do. It's an idea in your mind. It's a story that you're putting on. That seed isn't really a cause because there's never a moment where it's really a cause. But is the seed a cause? Sure, because that's the story that you have about it in your mind. And everything's like that. Yeah, you can say there was a seed and it was a cause. You can say that, but there never is a seed that is a cause. Because by the time you could call it a cause, it's gone. So in the present moment, which is all there really ever is, there's no such thing as a cause. Not in the way that you thought there was. Not in the way that you think there was. And I still think this way. Just because I can say this doesn't mean I don't believe it. And I'm I say it all the time. I mean, I think it all the time. Oh, Arena was asking that. Right. I hope you understand what I'm saying, guys. So what was the question? Is the disappearance of cause and manifestation of effect? Yeah. So that's at the heart of the disappearance of the cause and the manifestation of the result. The heart of that argument is what we're talking about right now. It's very middle way. We didn't cover it that way in the class, but that idea that I just talked about is kind of underpinning the discussion that we had in the class. So it's important to understand if we're going to talk about causes and results. Does that make sense? If I'm speaking too fast for the translators, write me an angry letter in the chat. So let's see. Question from Olga. Could I know the meaning? What is the meaning of da and the meaning of pa? I have no idea what you're talking about. Like the Tibetan word. Are you talking about like a Tibetan syllable pa? Or I'd have to. I guess I'd have to see what pa is. Pa is a syllable that's on almost everything, and it's just like pa makes things into a noun, or it makes it into a person who is the one who is like that, like or the infinitive of a verb. So it's not simple. It doesn't just mean one thing, and you have to learn some Tibetan to really understand it. But for an example, ye means to exist or to have. Yipa means an existing thing. Or Namkien is omniscience. But Tamte Kiempa, which is the one who is omniscient, the omniscient person. So in that way, it makes it into a noun or a person. So that's one of the ways that pa works. Or it also makes verbs infinitive, like sometimes. So like in Spanish, it would be like estar, or tener. It's like the infinitive form, to be, to have. In English, we just put the word to. So yeah, and it does some other things too, but mostly it like makes it into like the person who is this. Nyomong is negative emotions, and nyomongpa is like things which are negative or something. I don't know. Does different things. Da, I'm not sure what instance you're talking about seeing the word da. Tanda means now. Just da. I think it means now. That might be, yeah. I don't know. It's not something that you see very frequently, I don't think, but I'll keep an eye on it. I can check my dictionary.
Thank you, Tim. It's because I'm trying to.
Oh, my name is Nick. Tim is the
Yeah, oh
blonde
my
guy.
God. Yeah. Nick, sorry.
Da means now. Okay, I was right. I looked it in the dictionary. Who's talking?
Olga.
Oh, okay.
It's because I'm looking for the name of a social organization here in Guadalajara. So I was thinking in that Tartuk or Patartuk. But I was
maybe Tartukpa.
Tartukpa.
It doesn't really make sense though. It's not a real Tibetan word, but if you're playing with Tibetan words, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Nick, my name is Nick.
Sorry, I don't know why you have Tim in. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. That's okay. So somebody, I got a message that says Isabel is waiting for me to invite her to ask a question. Isabel, you are more than welcome to ask a question. Are you not?
Okay. First, I would like to congratulations for your book. I'm really excited to see or to hear that you are finishing your book, because I was translating your classes into Chinese, so I understand how much struggle have been going through. My question is very, very easy. It's regarding Tibetan learning, because I understand all these are translated from Sanskrit, and right? I mean, like a lot of the classics. So I'm feeling I'm more connected to Sanskrit, and I have been learning Sanskrit for quite some time also, and it's easier for me. So sometimes I just don't understand why we have to translate from Sanskrit to Tibetan, and then to Tibetan, then translate into English. Then it's kind of because we all know it, during translation there is some meaning going to be lost. So I know that Tibetan is, in terms of the Buddhism, it's in Tibetan it kept a more completed form, I mean, more books, since Sanskrit was, or since some books was lost in India. So other than this reason, what are other reasons for us to really learn Tibetan? Because it's kind of foreign to me, it's kind of difficult for me. It's just seems difficult for me to learn Tibetan. And what will be your way? I understand you have been spending a lot of time to learning Sanskrit also. So how did you conquer these difficulties when you learn Tibetan? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I am still learning Tibetan. I would not on any level say I have learned it. But I think it's, my reason is mostly what you said, a huge amount of I'm really into Buddhism. Okay. I love Buddhism, and a huge amount of the Buddhist canon is served beautifully in Tibetan, and it's not in Sanskrit. I mean, there is some, but it's not much, and not much that we know is correct or that's complete. But a huge amount is preserved in Tibetan, and a lot is preserved in Chinese too. But I think more in Tibetan, a lot more, and there's a lot of Tibetan commentaries. So the books that we are translating are mostly Tibetan commentaries to the Sanskrit, to the old Indian books. A couple of the books are just the old Indian books translated into Tibetan. And wouldn't it be nice to just translate the Sanskrit? Yeah, I mean, in some cases, maybe. But we happen to be with a geshe who studied this stuff in Tibetan, and he knows Tibetan inside and out. So it's partly it's just the circumstances, like that's what he knows really well. I mean, Geshe Michael also knows Sanskrit, but he, his specialty is Tibetan. And with regards to losing information in the translation, of course that happens. But I would argue, that probably less information has been lost in the translation of Sanskrit Buddhist works into Tibetan than in any other situation of translation, because for a specific reason, the written Tibetan language was designed to do this. It was designed in order to translate the Sanskrit works. There wasn't written Tibetan before that. They made the grammar for the spoken Tibetan language. They invented it. They invented the letters and everything in order to translate Sanskrit. So there's like so much direct one-to-one translations going on. It's like 90% just like there are special Tibetan words just for these Sanskrit words. I don't know how exactly to explain it other than that. Like it's probably very, very, very accurate. You could ask Geshe Michael this same question, but I think he'll tell you the same thing. Like they were meticulous. They were incredibly meticulous in their preservation and in their translations. And they spent a long time on it. And, it's like a nation of philosopher monks. I think 1/5 of the people are like ordained Sangha, who are working on this. So it's pretty significant. So I think that's why Tibetan became such an important, and the other part of it is just, the Sanskrit is just mostly not available. A lot of the books are unreadable because they were written on palm leaves. A lot of them are in pieces. You can only find a little bit. So, just the canon is not nearly as vast. And sometimes we don't know what's original and what's reconstructed. And then you asked, is written Tibetan different than speaking? Yeah, I mean, what's written in those books? I mean, my comparison is what, our teacher says, it's like Shakespearean English compared to modern spoken English. So in China, it's probably like the Chinese of the Tang Dynasty versus modern spoken Chinese. It's just different. And, but yeah, I mean, it's not so different that the words are completely different. spoken Tibetan has slang, but yeah, they invented the to match the Sanskrit, but the written Tibetan is the previously spoken dialect written in Tibetan words. Like it's not all new words, probably some new words, but that's about the extent of my linguistic history knowledge, historical knowledge of Tibetan. There's another from Arena. So if there's only a cause, if there's only a cause and a result that come from me, then how did I create the laws of karma? How did we create the fact that things seem consistent? Why are you asking me this? This is crazy. I can't answer that. I don't know. You gotta ask. That's like one of the 14 unanswerable questions or something. Here, let me do my best. It's not, yeah. Why is there consistency? Geshe Michael would answer you in DCI by saying it's because you have planted the seeds to have a universe that's consistent. And if those seeds were to wear out, then things would turn into utter chaos. And that happens to people. And, that's like dementia or Alzheimer's or something. But I understand what you're asking, the laws of karma. Why are they something that function? And I don't have an answer for that other than that just seems to be based on, that's one of the things that we use our logic to prove that the Buddha spoke the truth. And then we trust it and we try it. And then if we try it and it seems to help our life and it seems to feel more in harmony with the way things are than the way we were living, then go with it. And it's also in every religion. It's not just a Buddhist thing. Why is it that way? I don't know. I mean, I have my own guesses. I really do, but I don't feel like I have time to share them right now. And because they're just my ideas, I don't feel like this is the place for me to kind of talk about it as if I'm teaching. But I have thoughts that relate to human psychology and also some metaphysical ideas about it. I mean, I'll just say a little bit, like, I think on one level, you could think of it as like, this is the way that the mind, the universe is expressing itself through us, right? Like we are an expression of the universe of able to perceive ourselves. And some reason, the way that this instrument perception works is that we allow ourselves or that we're able to feel good sometimes and feel bad sometimes. And somehow the way that instrument opens up to goodness has to do with the positivity that we ripple out to the world, and something about the way that we're able to experience pain, or the way that we have to experience pain, has to do on some level with what level of negativity we put out to the world, and we somehow carry that in our own mind. And you can think about that from just a purely Western psychological perspective, like we create negativity, and therefore we, on some super subconscious level, force ourselves to experience that negativity. I mean, it's something about how the mind and the universe works, and I can't really get more into it than that because I don't know, but I have thoughts. My other thing that I think I've seen in some Hindu scriptures and stuff is, and Buddhism basically, is like some we're not really separate from each other. At the most fundamental level of what this universe is, it's one thing. And we kind of emanate as these separate manifestations. And the more we act like we're really separate manifestations, the more we perpetuate this kind of painful existence. And the more we act in harmony with the way things really are, like is this kind of like this web of interconnectedness, then the more we're going to get closer to let's just say happiness, and being kind of in a more pure state. And I don't want to say more than that for the risk of putting too much of my own ideas and sounding like some kind of crazy person. here. So wait, there were other questions that I won't look at, and then I'll look at that one. The emptiness of the relationship between seed and cause. The flower is our mind seed projected, and the flower seed is also our mind seed projected. The flower and flower seed is no link. There is a link. There is a link. The point is that the link happens here. It's not inherent in the seed and the flower. Okay? That's the point. There is a link. It's not that there's no link. There's just no link the way you thought there was. There's no natural link inherent in the thing. That's the important part. But of course there's a link. I guess Michael might say it more radically sometimes because that's the kind of guy he is, you know, and because he wants to open your mind. He really wants to open your mind, you know, and to make you think, like, make you realize that the way you've ever thought about everything is wrong. And that's true. There's no link at all. It's just that the link's not the way you want. And that's really the point. That's how I understand it. Let's see, question from the Russian team. We think that laws of karma are not universal justice. We do, but universal justice, because a person who did bad deeds may be dead for a couple centuries already, and we have to meet the results now. How could we change the laws of karma using our understanding of emptiness? Yeah, that's cool. Do you guys understand the question? It seems unjust because I didn't plant the bad seed that I'm experiencing the result of. Some other person did. Like when I was a warthog 16 lifetimes ago, I ate an ant, or I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I like it. How could we change the laws of karma? I don't know if we can. I mean, I hope, you know, that's cool, but I think that amounts to becoming enlightened. So yeah, I like how you asked the question. How could we change the laws of karma using the understanding of emptiness? Use your understanding of emptiness, analyze reality, see emptiness directly, you know, get yourself out of samsara. That's the answer. I mean, that's what Buddhism's all about, is answering your question. How can we do it? There's a book called Lam Rim, Follow the Steps. You know, that's how we can do it. I mean, that's what I'm trying. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm trying to follow these steps to the best of my ability and how I interpret them to free myself from those laws of unjust karma. Because it isn't fair. I agree. It sucks. It sucks to be caught in the web of karma. It's totally unfair. And what do we want to do? We want to escape this so bad, you know? And how to do it? Yeah, use our understanding of emptiness. This is a tool. Use the tool of our intellect that I was talking about with you guys, and use the tool of your heart, of your compassion, and just love people. That's probably the most powerful of all, is just staying and living in that love. And if you can do that, you probably don't have to worry about understanding emptiness that much. Like, it's just going to happen, you know, like it's just going to come to you. I was reading something interesting really recently by Alan Watts, this amazing English philosopher, Buddhist. And he's like, I think all the people who got enlightened, like, they don't like look back and they're like, I did that. Like, they're just like, I don't know, it just happened, you know. Like it just happens, you know, like so I think, you know, you study, you use all these tools available, you do yoga, you swim, you eat right, but you learn to live in love, and you learn to take care of people all the time, and stay in that state. And then your anger starts to go away, and your other negative emotions start to go away, and eventually you flip over into becoming this person who's not even capable of pain and negativity anymore. And then you're like, how the hell did that happen? I don't know, it just happened. Yeah. So that's how I interpret it all. So yeah, use your understanding of emptiness to push you more and more into that place of just living in love with everybody and taking care of them that way. Halma, good? All right. Okay, thank you so much. It's really, really wonderful to do the mix nuts. It's really wonderful to be here with you all. And I will keep doing this for as long as I possibly can. And I look forward to having classes again with you all. Good night or good day. Thank you for joining. Thanks for joining, Kat. Thanks for being on the video with me. It's really nice to see you, and you helped keep me alert and motivated. And thank you so much, you translators. You guys are great. Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
Bye-bye.